All right, so very good early morning, late evening. You know how WJ does this. We do it when we do it, and that's all that how I look at it. Before I get into the narrative, the topic of Hollywood pipe dream, I'm gonna talk about a little, um, talk a little bit about. I went to the park again tonight and do my workout, and I was thinking, oh, Friday night. The gays, whatever, some of these people, they think it's a playground, and it's not. Um, the area versus the moisture, like at night, there's like pull up bars, push up, whatever, can be wet, And I bring my gloves with me, and the rings too. And these I hate to belittle people, but you just have to sometimes. Like I don't bother telling them, but it's like, oh, look at the rings, let's go. And these people, they're not in shape at all. Thank God Cedar Sinai is not too far away, because the odds of these people getting fucked up on that, they're coming out of bars fucked up, or if they're, I saw these people in their cars, they get all high and drunk or whatever, and then they go out there and, or it's like they just don't realize, that they could, slip on the rings, and the ground also, is wet, kind of like moisture. So, they have parallel bars too. Their moisture is wet on there. I can feel it even with my gloves. I'm careful, like before I warm up and everything. And these people just go and jump on this shit, and they could get fucked up, and it's not my place. What I do is I bring, it's kind of brightly lit, what I like about it. So even at night, so I bring my sunglasses and I put it on, and I just don't want to look at anybody. If they people are just stupid, like if one friend pulls out their phone recording the other friend doing stupid shit, and I just go off on the side. I take a sip of water, and I don't look. I don't give them any attention. And even if they try to get my attention, I just don't even bother looking. I ignore all these people. They're just kind of like clowns. They're the public. I'm not saying people shouldn't be respected, but you're seeing somebody like me doing the workout stuff. You gotta understand, it's a place to work out. It's not a playground, and I'm going there on a Saturday night, Friday night, literally like working, and these people just go by there. They're there to play and try to do some dumb things, and it's a lot harder than it looks. It took me 10 weeks to be able to. It was a little hard tonight. I was able to swing from one ring to the other, but 10 weeks, dude. 10 fucking weeks. Going to the park to be able to go from one to the other one. That's a significant amount of time, man. Of effort. Chai spice with a little special ingredient, And I used to be very combative as far as anybody says anything to me, and I would throw it right back at you. I have a knack for pissing people off, but that doesn't do anything for me, really. And Stallone, I listened to an interview actually just about 5 minutes ago. David Rubenstein interviewed Stallone. Library of Congress was interesting. 20 minutes, and Stallone. I've said this term before, fragile egos, and he used it. I like that. That was a takeaway of how fragile. It's so easy to agitate somebody. Like I could do it so easily. It doesn't do anything because everybody's so used to compliments, but they're not used to the put downs. So, I thought about this. Like when I go to the park, like I used to go out dancing every night, whenever. thinking that's the way to refine my talent, maybe meet women, do all these things. And I thought about it like, I'm the only one there doing, like, working on my core, like doing lots of different shit there while people are going out trying to whatever, partying. And I don't want to apologize. I don't mean to sound egotistical, but I will. I'll say what I feel. That I'm almost 50 years old, and there ain't nobody at midnight working out like I am there. I always hear the same generic thing from people walking by. When I was a kid, I could be able to do this. When I was younger, I was able to do this. And just the same generic answers, like repetitive, just like nothing makes these people unique, like, are interesting, like by hearing the same thing. I'm almost 50, okay, and I'm doing this shit because I don't think like you. I don't think like the general masses. My ex-girlfriend used to call them the GP, the general public, general population. GP sausage. I kind of miss her in a way, like, but we just aren't, you know, she's, well, doesn't matter. It's not worth going there. But I get it, like that GP, and on the social hierarchy, that's what, look, man, when you're a celebrity, you're pushed up beyond the GP. You are higher up on the totem pole, and that's how it works. I didn't create this, like, you go back hundreds of years. Meanwhile, it was philosophers, it was famous artists, like Michelangelo. These were like the celebrities, not actors. It's somewhere around, like, I don't know, 100 years ago or so, it became this. I mean, it was composers were famous. But now it's like, these dumb actors, like these people, they're nothing. They're just pushed in the media. And this is going to lead me to the topic, to the narrative of this nonsense. That's what it is. It's not like, it's you know anyway. So the thing about Stallone, like that, I respect. Yes, yes, Rocky. That was great. That's iconic and everything. And it snowballed, immensely. Like tell you, he was doing dishwashing jobs a little before he was 26 or whatever. He wrote the script and everything, and just he went from there. Like, and it just seems like it's kind of easy once you make it, kind of thing. Like, oh, then he did Rocky 2 and then First Blood. He's a name already. It's not, it's like, just he hit the. It's like he hit. It's like he hit the ground running. Like, once it hit, like I'm not impressed by somebody. Once they make it, they just show up. Like, it's not impressive to me. Like, it's just time served, time put in. But it's once you make it, you see, like, it's not a big deal. Like, they come to you with all these offers, like, and then, wow, over 6 decades and everything. Well, dude, what do you? If somebody gives you a chance, that's all. You do the work. That's it. I mean, I'm sorry, but he knows it's all because of that. It's all because of that. And what it just agitates me, because, like, I wrote a beat, and then he goes, "Well, Rocky would never get made today." I know, probably not. More than likely, no. And I wrote a beautiful, inspirational dance movie. Nothing's like it ever been made, and no one, I did my best to reach out to Winkler, Chardoff. I would J Lo, Stallone, everybody. his wife to try to get to him. Anybody is anything, and nobody, not one person, would even entertain, even write back to me, and nothing. It's registered. It's in the WGA, the Heart of a Dancer. It doesn't matter. Nobody will ever look at it. Nobody ever will consider even hear the pitch or anything. And I just don't. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. So, it's might as well. It's like that's just the way it is. And this relates to the pipe dream of professional wrestling, like that I've been hanging out at this school, looking at these people, and they're young, and I mean, Ringmaster is 44, and Black Pearl's probably early 50s. Keish is 54 probably, and you know what though, it's just it's the pipe dream. It's a fucking pipe dream. It's the same thing. Making it in professional wrestling would be like just making it in Hollywood as an actor, whatever, famous. It's the same fucking thing. And you know, I had my little time on television dancing, when I was 29 and 31, and that was it. And a couple shows here and there, but nothing, I never took it over the top. Everybody says, "Did you make any money?" And the bottom line is no. Listening to Mike Quackenbush talk about it, until we make it. He owns his own wrestling school, but for 5 years, when he tried to be a pro wrestler, year one, $0. Year two, $18. Year three, $40. Year four, $26. And year five, eight, whatever, like nothing. Nothing. I don't even know if he was on the PWI 500. That's the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I think they do it once a year. They have like the top 500 wrestlers in the world. They give them a profile page in a magazine, big thing. And God, can you imagine that? Like, you could say you're in the top 500 in the world, and it's nothing. It's not like, and you could take that with anything else. That's like, unless you're the top of the top. Like, I don't know how many grandmasters there are in chess. In the world, a couple thousand maybe. And it's like, now the super GMs, it's like that's a different story. Probably 100 in the world, top 100 FIDE, and I would say people down at the bottom 100 aren't super GMs. Probably they're just very strong GMs. So maybe the top 50 players qualify as that. That aren't the world champion candidates, and even above that. So it's like that Hans kid. Like, I've been following his career. He's like 11th. He's like 19 years old or 18. And he's like ranked 11th, 12th or 11th now in the United States. So what? In the whole country, do you know how many people like play chess like seriously in the United States, like, and then competitively? And the dude is number 11 in the country, and it's not a big deal. Like, you're not making any money, nothing. I don't think. So, this is just all, very interesting, like when I think about this, these people that are so good at something and it's not a big deal, and when, I sat there and I heard the thing, I watched this 20-minute thing with Stallone talking, and, he's just an anomaly, like, it's, I call them miracle stories, lightning in a bottle. He had the slurred speech, whatever. You were told never going to make it as an actor. Short, you're not looking. I know. I saw Rocky 6 in the theater, the Rocky Balboa at the Chinese. Like, I even went to WGA and went looked over the script. Probably the only person on the planet that did that, probably besides Stallone. Maybe some of the other people, producers, or so, I don't know. and I don't care. I'm not connected to him. I'm not connected to anybody that has any power in Hollywood. You know, I never had anybody, not one person has ever come up to me and after seeing what I do, all my years of dancing, everything, and ever said, dude, wow, I'll look at this, fuck, like, when someone's serious about something, and it sucks because you could live right in the middle of all this. It doesn't fucking matter. It really, really doesn't. Like my friend from Akron, Ohio, came out here. He lives next to the Directors Guild. It doesn't fucking matter. You wrote a script too. You're not connected to anybody. Nothing. It's he's, the guy, whatever he does, like these these little independent shorts for this one guy Ash. That's I guess he did like a Stella Artois commercial. Just anyway, my friends never made any money from all these shorts and stuff. And this leads me to like just being taken advantage of. I mean, I'm gonna open up this, because I don't know what more to say about Hollywood and chasing pipe dreams because it's the same story. But I want to talk about being taken advantage of. So, the my friend Ruben, and he's a good guy and everything. So everything I say, I just mean well, but I'm just gonna open up the barn door and let it all out. So, him, he likes to drink and smoke. Guys like he's not in the good health, he's having his problems. But the thing is, this Ash guy that records him, he, yeah, he says, "Well, I'll get you, film. We're gonna film all day here. I'll get you like a case of beer and like a little weed or something, maybe a smokes or something. Like no money, nothing. Like think about that, like all day, like maybe more than one day shooting, having him go wherever, nothing, and this guy like he's being recorded doing this, and that's all the guy's getting is like, something. Let's see, I don't know, costs like $15, for, whatever for a case, and and he's making it sound like he's getting something off. It's like nothing. And to me, that's just being taken advantage of. And I told him this. I even did a short part of it. I wasn't the lead, but I did this with Ruben. And it's like this guy, he's got all this expensive equipment and all, the film and everything like that. And it's like, well, I know it's for like your reel or something like that, but in my mind, dude, you got to kick down. You got to, like for me, I'm not doing nothing for nothing, like I'm too old or it's stupid. Like I feel like I'm just wasting my time, like I'm not getting nothing out of it. It ain't gonna lead anywhere. So what good is it? Just being taken advantage of. And my friend Ruben, like he has to, he's an alcoholic, so he's gotta have his beer, and his cigarettes, whatever, weed. So it's like, yeah, I'll do it, for nothing. Like it just doesn't mean anything to him. Like as far as like, and I have another friend, Chris, he's a good guy. And I talked to Ruben about this, and I said, yeah, well, really, Chris works under the table, hustles around a lot, works his ass off, hustling around, under table jobs or whatever. But I said, I told him, I said, man, I hope he's not, it sounds like he's getting taken advantage of, like, which is, well, look, it's money on the side. Nobody puts a gun to his head to do it, so he does whatever. So I talked to him, and he goes, he opened up to me, and he confided in me, he goes, well, Micah, I think this guy is like, he's really taking advantage of me. And if he says that, then I start to say, now the proof is in the pudding. I started, I get this vibe, like this feeling that I said, this guy's hiring him to work in like a restaurant, paying him under the table, that he's he's getting, he's getting taken advantage of. Like this guy likes to take advantage of people. I said, Chris, don't bend over for anybody, man. Don't bend over for anybody. Look, you got your money every month. Your rent's next to nothing. You got enough to survive on. And I'm just gonna lateral this into the pro wrestling school that I go to. If I ever got that feeling that I was being, now there's a difference. I could tell when somebody's trying to fuck me, like, they're really trying to make you do slave labor for nothing. That's not going to build you, to be the best for you. I know. I've been around too long. Like my friend Ruben, the guy that I talked about that does anything for the smokes and the beer. You know, he was smoking one time at this, ironically, where my gym is in this shopping center. There's a Chinese food place or whatever, and he was hanging out there looking for cigarettes and said, "Oh, we'll hire you. We'll hire you to help, wash dishes and stuff." And he was like, "Oh, well, okay. We'll give you like $100 a night to do it." And he's like, "All right." Well, it was not that simple. Okay, it's $100, but this is what he had to do for the $100. It's like, okay, he's gonna work from like 3 in the afternoon till they close at midnight. Wash the dishes for like 9 hours, and then they have these heavy fucking mats. They're gonna roll up and carry them, and this guy he couldn't do it. Like, it's just too heavy for him. And then take out like all this heavy ass trash and all this kind of stuff. He's like a young Mexican guy to do that kind of work. I mean, I'm sorry, I know it sounds racist, but that's what they're really looking for. And this guy's like 60 years old. He said he did it for one day. One day he was in bed for a week. He couldn't move. Like it's really hard ass work, and so he had to give it up. It's like you can't be doing that shit. Washing dishes. Maybe he goes just sitting there washing the dishes for 9 hours is hard enough, but you want him. They need a utility guy for all that shit. A baseball term, a guy that could do anything. A universal guy. And that's why I don't do any of this shit. I don't like. I just feel like, and I already talked about this. Look at the back of a dollar bill. It shows you the pyramid, and that's what it is. It's to me, it's just being a slave, like a modern day slave is what it is. And the problem herein lies that, well, no, we don't have to do it. Yeah, yeah. What happens when you get hungry? You're not going to pay money to eat. So it is tied psychologically and everything to the slave mentality. So it is. It doesn't matter. It's just the money is what everything costs. That's the way the world works. So it is slavery. It is. Like that's why people do it. They sacrifice whatever dreams they had, whatever imagination, whatever, to be a schleprock, and that's what most people are. I mean, I'm saying trying to be as nice as I can about it, but some things aren't nice. These people that work government jobs, a post office, whatever like that, teachers. You're sacrificing decades, of your best years of your life, and then when you're old, literally you're 65, and then now finally, oh, now you can go back and do whatever hobbies you wanted, or whatever dream of writing something. Now you've got the time. After, when you're already old, though, it don't matter. It's you know now, some things age is not a big of a factor. Writing, I guess, like that's all you care about, or reading. But I'm talking about like people that had big dreams, actor or whatever. Well, there's rarities. Morgan Freeman, he hit in his 50s, and the late 50s or whatever. That's why it's so rare, because it's so few that ever make that. It's. I read online. It was interesting. It said that the odds of making it. I was just curious about pro wrestling, and the how many schools now. So the odds of making it to the WWE and being a superstar for somebody that's gone to like a wrestling school is 0.0013. It's fucking ridiculous, you know. And I think I already explained in my last episode the breakdown of percentages, and it's my own view of again, for women it's skewed, like the percentages, but it Hollywood dream, the Hollywood Hollywood dream. They all come here thinking like, or whatever they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking, and I don't know why they're here. I don't know why. Just to be around other crowded people and idiots. There's plenty of space out there. Like, you know, I know who wants to live in Victorville, Apple Valley, or Hesperia, right? But I mean, think about this. Like, if you worked remotely, or like if you could own your own house, like out there, or in Henderson. Well, Henderson's, it's outside Vegas, still probably getting pretty expensive. But this type of, being like in Hollywood, who cares? Now, I was born here. I know, like, and I I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm an odd case. The people that come here, they already made it. They got money. If they have property, whatever, they can settle in here comfortably because for whatever they did, they made it. Like, there's some guy that lives, next door, and this guy has got a serious pad, serious place. He's a relatively young dude. I don't know how he made his money. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Like, he's a place is worth millions, like he's got cameras on the corner, like he I'm just curious, it doesn't matter. Maybe, he made it in crypto or something, inheritance, but it's just, he's fucking fairly wealthy, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're not going to help you. It's you got to help you, and you can't compare yourself to anybody. And I know it's extremely difficult because when you walk around, you see Lamborghinis, you see people that have, and you're like, how these fucking people make it? It doesn't matter how they made it. It matters that you didn't make it. Now, for me, I, you know, I don't know what to say. Like, I hate to kill people's dreams, but the reality is you're not going to make it. And I guess if you've got that realization, then anything you get would be a bonus. This stupid, stars in the sky, dreaming that you're going to be, in the business of, now it's like, for example, in the wrestling business, it's not just the performers. There's a lot of people that make the show happen. And I'm not going to be one of these guys that work and not get paid. I'm too old, like it's my, now hanging out in the school, trying to learn the business thing, I'm walking away with something. That's okay because people pay to go there, so it is a learning experience. But, I'm not going to be fucked, like I'm too old, Black Pearl, he's serious. He's like me. He runs a school real serious. I like it. I like it. But he knows it's all the performers that make it. Like, he's trying to do pay-per-views. He's talking about it. It'll never work because, you have to create. Now, I'm going to look up, like, in Hollywood, KDOC. I know they have wrestling things too. But, you gotta find a way to sell those characters so people keep watching, like the way to do it, Um, what is easy, right? So today, earlier, I went to the gym and can do a fairly hard leg workout, but I don't know, for some reason I got this in my head about doing these tumbles, these rolls, because I saw that in the wrestling school, these kids doing it. So I figured, all right, I'll do them, and I know I was able to do some of that stuff, But again, I need to constantly remind myself, dude, you're not 25 anymore. You're not 20 anymore. It'd be kind of cool though, like if I could be like a heel manager, I have some great ideas. Um, for that. You see, there's ways to kind of be involved without being involved. Like it's just realization, man. Everybody gets old. You know, everything is kind of short lived, including your life. Like that's the way it works. And look, I had my time too, but I wasn't really anything exceptional. It's just acceptance. I didn't understand. I thought I could get really, really good at something really fast, and the things I chose were not practical at all. You know, this one chick that's a couple years older than me, she's working on her associate degree. She's a retired porn star, and she still looks okay, she's all right. Um, she got a good push in the, mid 90s, early mid 90s, through around 2000, around that time. In 2002, that's 20 years ago already. And she knows she had a good body, hence the name. I know her, every once in a while I hang out with her or something, rarely. But my point is that it's short lived. So she went back to school to get her associates. I think she's fairly close. I tried asking her about, because to get your associates you need to pass intermediate algebra. Good luck. Good luck. Have a nice day. Bang bang. That I know that's Mick Foley. I don't know. Just but good luck, because I know what I went through to get through that class, and I call that's the breaker. That's the Math 125. I'm very lucky at the time. That's what she said. Like I told her, I'm going for my doctorate. Like she goes, "Oh, you're lucky," and I says, "Look, I knew like at how old was I? I think I was 34 at the time." And I got a thing from LACC saying they had like 3 summer sessions. And I started college in 91. And I thought all those credits were still good in the LA Community College District. I wonder if there's I think they're good as long as I don't think they expire like, like all the work you do. Some schools, some programs have like a 5 year or 7 year limit. But apparently a lot of work I did I went in 91, I went in 93, 94, 95 because I was playing baseball, but I was taking a lot of classes too. So I had about 30 credits. They community college, they call them units. Same thing, toward the associate degree. So I'm like, oh wait, I got like motivated. I saw this thing about this 3 summer sessions, and I said, wait, I got like halfway to it already, maybe more. And I got really motivated, and I said, dude, I'm gonna power this fucking bitch out. Like I'm gonna fucking do all this work in 1 summer, and I did. And they had this ITV, which is instructional television. I don't think it exists anymore. It's through Mission College, and you could take like the same credit courses by watching television at home. It was on VHS or DVD, at the time. KCET, also. So, and that's all you do is you watch it, and then you go to the class on a weekend, and you take a test. You take the tests there, and you pass these tests, and you get the credit for it. It is, and they offered everything: anthropology, history, English, speech, everything. And I didn't need too much, but I needed that Math 125. So I was able to, I think I was able to test into it through the AccuPlacer. That's like a placement test that you could take at community college, and if you can, I placed in it, so I didn't have to take the basics arithmetic, work my way up. Or I think I already took 115, which is elementary algebra. That was already had that under my belt or something. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, the 125 and this doctor, Dr. Lin, I remember. And I remember he'd hand out the test, easy one for you, easy one for you. And he gave me this on it and he goes, easy one for you. And I go, not easy. He goes, oh, okay. So, you know, I had, now at the time, I know I've already talked about this, but I like to, refresh my memory. At the time, that's all you needed was a D to get the associate degree. It's passing. It's okay, like. And he goes, I don't fail anybody, but I tried to, I wound up getting a D. I think I got a D. I'm trying to remember. I don't. Yeah, I think so. And so they gave me the degree, and then now to go to get the CSU certification, I think you need a C or better. So I retook the class with the guy, but I actually did study. I really put in some time, and he goes, "Oh, you've been studying, like, and I managed to get the C." And then, ironically, the higher level math was actually easier. Math for elementary school teachers, 200 level math course. So when I went to CSUN, I didn't need any math, even though I wound up failing college level algebra there, which I took as an elective. I didn't even need it. So that was like really the last time I ever failed a class was in like, I think it was at 2011 or something. I don't even remember when I went to CSUN. Um, that was after Dominguez Hills. You know, I hold like 4 college degrees. I'm working on my doctorate still, but the thing is, people look at the degrees. That's your success, dude. I failed so many times. Dude, I can go down the list. I got kicked out. I got Cal State Dominguez Hills. That was a flop. Cal State Northridge. That didn't work out. On probation for my bachelor's, National University after first class, but I managed to hit the ground and back on that. Liberty University, after I got my educational specialist degree, I got put on probation in their doctoral program, um, and I actually had to leave. I think. So I've had my downs. Like my ups and graduating the degrees, and my downs. A hard struggle at the end to get my master's, with the department where I had to fight for my case, even for my associates. I remember I had to plead my case, but I was right. I knew I was right. And if you can prove your point and you're right, then you fight it. You fight it all the way to the top, to the provost or whatever, the head of the departments. And if they don't side, then you go up above them. If you believe that your case is right, not just emotionally, but based on the catalog. Like if you can show and you can prove it, you go the whole way with it. I had a classmate that at oh yeah, then there's another one. I got bounced. I didn't mention all the schools. I didn't mention Franklin University. I got 86 from there too. After I did all the work and almost a doctor candidate. Didn't mention the big one. I forgot that. Shit. So one of my classmates, he told me he got bounced out of Azusa Pacific. He almost said he was going to hire a lawyer, because of his dissertation. The chair say that's what happened with me at Franklin. I didn't even make. They wouldn't pass me on my exams. My comprehensive exams to get me to the dissertation. And fuck them. They think like they're scholarly school, like they're the almighty or something, and it's bullshit. I mean, I took 6 months of stats there, 6 fucking months, man. Yeah, fuck them. I passed it all though. I got. I got a good feeling where I'm going now though. I'm 5 classes out of the doctor degree, and I think I'll be able to do it. It's a very slow but good pace. Like on one class at a time. It'll take me till next June, July, but that's what it is. I mean, it was the same thing that happened at National University. Like, technically, I think I had seniors. I was a senior at Northridge. All the work I did, and when I went to National, like they only took so many credits, and I basically was like a sophomore. But the classes are one once a month consistently. So even though I started off a lot further back, I caught up fairly quickly, and I graduated within a year and a half. I remember when I got my bachelor's, I was 41, and that was really something. That was the second degree I got after my associates. After I was like 35. That's a long time, 6 years to get the bachelor degree after everything I went through, but I got it. And it wasn't that like it took me 6 years, 6 years of schoolwork. It took me 6 years to kind of find my route, as it was. When I went to Dominguez Hills, I had no plan. I really didn't, I couldn't handle the commute is ridiculous. I schlep all the way down there. And the same thing with Northridge. It was just ridiculous, to go. And I was going there for the wrong reasons. Um, and it's just my head. It just wasn't there. And if you're not there and you're going for the wrong reasons, then odds are you will not be able to stomach it. You're not going to be able to get through it. And that's what happened with me. It's like I think that's basically they give you like two chances. I think as far as financial aid, I think that's what happened with me because I tried to apply to other Cal states and they were like, well, you got bounced out of Dominguez Hills, you got bounced out of Northridge. Why should we give you any more money? Like what's wrong here? They wouldn't even let me in provisionally. I tried going to other ones online or everything, and it just didn't work. But I was able to find, the National University, and I said, I also that was in my first class. I got a D. I mean, I wasn't used to online learning. I'm old school, OG. Like I'm used to going to a class and this and that. That's all done. That's all out the window. And once I was able to make that transition, I had a decent transition through those instructional television courses to kind of groom me for the future of this. And when I went to National, after the first class, even though I was on probation, I knew. I said, "This is the way. This is the fucking way." And I was on probation, and then the second class, I think I never looked back. Then there's a 41, my master's at 44, my specialist degree, my EDS at 46, and now I'm working on doctor. And I should have that before I turn 50. So that's just what it is. It's and I know it's a long thing for it. But it's like I always say, just stay the course, stay the fucking course. The time's gonna pass anyway. Um, you know, it was very hard for me to figure out a path that I could handle. And if I would have gone here earlier, I could have saved a couple of years. Oh, I didn't have to. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is now and forward. All accumulation of those degrees are great that I did, but the most important thing is the now and the forward. That's how I look at it. My friend Chris doesn't really bust my balls on this, but because you got all these degrees, you think it would lead to a career or a job or something like that. And I told him, no, you can't bank on that. Um, and look, I didn't know. Like I thought, when I got my bachelor's at 41, I was like, all right, well, it's going to be officer, military kind of thing. And dude, you're already too old. At that too late. When I got my master's, I remember like I paid to try to power this thing toward the end. That I remember I took a class online through University of Missouri or something. I was able to transfer it in Fort Hays too. I think I transferred in a specialist level class to get my EDS degree. So, I found ways to kind of expedite this a little bit, and um, but it didn't matter, like it's cute. Like I know that feeling. Like when that degree comes in the mail, like when you graduate, I didn't go to any graduation ceremonies, but like I remember when bachelor degree, like when it came in the mail, like through national, it was like a euphoric feeling. Like it's like, wow, it's beautiful. It's like this piece of paper with your name on it. And then when my master's came, I was like, just same thing. Like I was like, just wow, It's weird because my major was sports administration. They put physical education on it, PE. I'm a PE teacher. Come on, man. It's sports admin. That sounds better. I don't know why they don't put that on the degree. They put it on the website. They don't put it on the fucking degree. It's okay though. It doesn't matter. It's still Master of Science. I like that. I like it. And then when I got my educational specialist degree, that was another. It was the same kind of feeling because it's like this. It's bigger. It's like this oversized degree, and I spent $200 on a frame for that one, and it's not just a regular. It's the right frame for it. The matting. It's the School of Education, Liberty University. So it's like, dude, I said, this is once in a lifetime to get that. Even though it's not, it's EDS. It's like halfway to doctor. And I said, you know what? Pay 200 bucks. It's a way. I knew the importance of, the level of that degree. What pisses me off about that, it's like it's not really. It's a specialist. It's a degree of specialist, but it's not really recognized. Like whenever I fill out applications, they just go, "Well, do you have a master's or doctorate?" They don't understand that in between. Like there's something there, like that has value, and they don't. It's not. It doesn't hold much water, and that pisses me off because it's like, then why even offer it? Like if it's nothing, like if it's not recognized as a degree, it is recognized as a degree. But I remember telling people this, and they're like, "Well, let me look this up. I don't even know what it is." And I go, you don't even know what an EDS degree is. Like, so I'm sitting there just saying to myself, this is bullshit. Then like it's now the only reason why I picked it up is because I saw the route to doctor, and I was like, well, you mean I can pick this up along the way, and at least I'll have something, on the way. It's a long route to get your doctor degree in anything, um, and I just thought that was the right move, and I got it fairly quickly. I got it within a year and a half. That's not bad. Um, I don't regret it. I just had a very difficult. What happened was I transitioned into the Liberty University doctor program of education, and they wouldn't take all the work that I did for a year and a half. And I'm sitting there going, hey, I put in a year and a half, dude, to get this specialist degree, and you're not going to give me credit for a lot of this stuff that I I took all these classes, I did all this work. And they go, well, our programs are going through changes right now. We probably are gonna take up to half the units within a year. A year. So you want me to like jack off for a year? Like what am I gonna do for a year until you show me like what's it? I mean, you gotta understand something. Like time, like that's important. I like to keep going. Like I don't want to like. And then unless you can tell me definitively the work that I'm doing will carry over or what I need to get my next degree, I'm wasting time taking classes that might not be necessary. And they couldn't give me an answer. So I said, fuck you. Okay, well, I didn't say fuck. I left and I went to, I saw this Franklin University that, that's like, well, we'll take a lot of these units and that's all you need to do. You need to finish your core courses and then you go on your dissertation to get your doctorate degree. I said, fine, okay. So they took me in, they took all the work I did. I was like, great. They took like 28 units. So I figured I hit the ground running. And it took me a considerable amount of time, to finish all the core courses, which I did. And again, I already talked about this story. If you go back, listen to it. I couldn't pass the comprehensive exams due to some of the people on my chair committee that was there. They didn't like my writing. I think the main guy did, but it doesn't matter. Like everybody else, you know, he told me, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." So I didn't worry about it, and I want to, it's a weird thing. It's three questions, and you need to pass all three. So the first question I passed, the second and third I didn't. So they go, well, the second attempt you can repeat the second and third question. I go, fine. So I wrote even more. I handed it in, and then they didn't pass me again. My second and third question, they didn't like it. So then they go, well, for your third and final attempt, we give you three new questions. So they give me the third attempt, and I do everything again, and they don't pass me a third time. So I was excused from the program, basically kicked out of the school program, dismissed. I'm the only person, the only one out of like 200 students that did not pass his comp exams. Fucking dicks, this fucking guy. You got this guy there, he's this asshole, he thinks he's Aristotle or something. He's a fucking moron. He's like the chair of the whole thing of the School of Education. And whatever. I fucking. Imagine. I passed all the. I took 6 months of statistics. 6 fucking months, man. I passed it all this shit. I went through everything. And this fucking bull. I mean, I was so pissed off about that. And that's why the third attempt I basically already gave up. I didn't understand how you make these dumb comprehensive exam questions so you're not writing scholarly writing. You're not. What the fuck is that? Like you're just asking me generic questions, so I'm giving you generic answers. And that's the problem. Like you could be going to a school for a very long time, and you could hit a serious roadblock or a wall, a fucking wall. And that's what happened with these schools. The wall that I hit, that means you're not going through or over, around or under. You're done. And it breaks many students. I've seen this before. And the only advice I could give you is that try to get a feeling for it. Well, it depends, like what level you're at, but I try to feel out the curriculum and the professors and see, like, are these people, I kind of like, can I stomach these people? I hate to say it, but life is hard enough. I mean, they use the term easy, but if I'm on the same page and doing the work as the professors like it, then it is relatively easy for me. And that's kind of like, there's nothing wrong with that. Look, every degree I earned, every fucking class I took, I did the work, period. Whether it be easy or hard, I did it all, And the problem is, like, those serious roadblocks that come up, dissertation chair, that they fucked me. They fucked me on that, and it's like the only thing you can do. I mean, I don't recommend this, but like, I mean, look, I mean, you could hire somebody to write the work for you. If you get that close and you've done, and these people make it crazy for you, that like you're doing the best you can, and it's not, hire somebody to write this stuff for you, like if it's like that. And that's what somebody told me. Mike, why don't you just pay somebody to write those questions for you? You could have done that. And I said, no, I can do this myself. And look, I wound up getting kicked out of the school because they just didn't like my writing. Isn't that fucked up? Like, I have a friend, he got his bachelor's from Cal State LA, whatever, and he wanted a master's in history, and he loves history. but his writing sucks, and he passes all the classes at National University, and he gets to this thesis he has to write, and they didn't like it. They didn't like his writing, and he never got his master's. Now, ironically, history is a very difficult degree to get for whatever reason. I don't know why. It just is. And he wasn't able to get it. Like it's that's fucked up. So many people might like a certain subject, but the departments, the chairs, whatever, they don't like your writing, and that's kind of fucked up. That being a professor is, to me, it's not about your scholarly writing. I know you got to be able to write stuff, but that's not what's important. It's important way more important to be able to communicate to the students, to be able to teach. That's not necessarily scholarly writing. Now, I understand the importance of it, being able to, read papers, read homework assignments, and see if it's written right. But you could be missing out on potentially a great teacher because of this dumb way of how they give these degrees, of how they uh, uh, you know what the criteria is to graduate. So I don't know. Like I want that stupid doctor title, like just to say I got it. But man, this has been. I'm lucky. Like I think this program I'm in, it's just to grind it out the last year and a half, whatever, less than that now. But man, I went through a lot. I went through a lot to find some program I could fucking handle. And look, I'm not gonna pimp them. I'm not gonna advertise for any of them. There's a lot of affordable schools out there. Just go to like the U.S. News site and look up most affordable colleges and universities, and online, they're out there. They're not saying they're easy, but they might be easier for you. I don't know. That's. I mean, I put in my time to get my master's. That was over 3 years, almost 3 years. Um, but it was something I could handle. Sports administration. That's why it was doable for me. What happened? What sucks? I remember like this really cool guy, Dr. Bogdanov. He was cool. Had us watch shows like Sports Night, and write about it. That was cool. But then he left the program, and this fucking woman that was like an English professor, she came in and taught like ethics and sport. And it was really not about the topic, more of the how the writing, professional writing was. She killed me. I remember she gave me like a C in the class, and I was like, well, I don't, like that's okay, fine. You can have one C in your program. So I brushed it off. I didn't care. But then, like, toward the end, they're like, well, you got to take this again. And I went, what do you mean? I got a C. And he goes, well, if you look in the college catalog, it says that all your core courses have to be B or better. And I was like, fuck you. It's like a 16 weeks. So I had to retake that fucking class. I kept all the homework and basically the same shit. I turned the same thing in. I wound up getting the B this time. And then I remember, I think it was the same woman. Like I got all the way to the end, and the end was a capstone project. So I took it, and with her, and she did the same fucking thing. She gave me a C in that capstone. I'll never forget this. This is great. This is where turnabout is fair play. Where retribution, retaliate. Well, not retaliate. Anyway, so here's what happened. The same bitch professor, she gave me a C again. Now, again, I repeated the ethics in sport. See, I never forget this. When you go through hell, you never forget. So I remember this. Now, this capstone did not fall under the core. The capstone is, it's this individual course at the end to graduate. So she gives me a C. And then she goes, well, you got to take it again to get your B. And I go, yeah. I looked in the college catalog, and I'm looking at it. I say, show me where I need a B or better in this capstone to graduate. This is a 3.0. 1C is okay. So I made the point. I said, it's good. The C is good. She's like, no, 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 it isn't. I said, yes, 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 it is. And she's like, no, no, no. And I said, yes, show me. Show me. The catalog overrides the professor's opinion. And she's like, well, I got to go to the, she goes, I'm going to go, she goes, I'm going to consult with the head of department. I said, you can consult with whoever you want. The college catalog is the final say, and it's not in there. I'll never forget it. So I never heard from her again. And then I went to like the head of the school department of education, the Eastern ENMU, Eastern New Mexico University is where I got my master's. And this woman, she goes, you're right. And I go, of course I'm right. It's not in the college catalog. And she goes, well, you know what? You can, we're going to give you your master's, but you can be damn sure. She didn't say damn sure, but you can be sure that in the next year's catalog, it's going to say that capstone's got to be B or better. I never looked. I might look up that catalog just to see if they put it in there. But I got my master's with that C because it averaged still 3.0. I still had a 3.0 with it. Not much over, but I had it. So you know, I got the last laugh. I got the last laugh in Eastern New Mexico University. You know, and that was that. Like it was. But I had to fucking repeat that ethics in sport. I mean, that was a long. I remember that bitch. Like she tried to fuck me the second time. She wasn't able to, like the once she got me, but the second time, no. So, it is interesting that, your grind and your perseverance, getting through, sometimes, you come out on top, like it's not all, but I've, I've seen it where people get shit on. Like I told you, what happened with me at Franklin, like it doesn't mean all your work counts for naught, but you could put in some serious time into something, and it all like feels like all I got nothing from it. I mean, I've seen this. I've been around this too long to know this. So I'm gonna stay this route where I'm going right now, and all it's I feel like I like it. I like when you can just they show you everything. This is what you need to do. You need to do all this work. You get this much time, and it's really the ball's in your court. I like that kind of thing. I don't like the mystery of if they're gonna like your writing, if the people decide, they might not do all the work and then at the end they kill you kind of thing. I don't like that kind of thing. I don't like that mystery route of there is no route. It's like you were hoping. It's like gambling. Like you go to school and then you don't know if you're gonna pass these classes. You don't know if you're gonna graduate. I mean that's nonsense. In this wrestling school. I don't know if there's really any graduation from there, and I get, there's no promise. Of course, there's no. Where do you go from there? You go to some open auditions for like AEW or WWE or Ring of Honor, and I could just visualize this. I could see like you got these guys that are behind the table. And there's a ring there, and they just go, all right, let me see what you can do there. Show me. And like these people in my class, they look like nothing. And they're just, I already talked about this in the last episode. They're going to look at you physically and they're like, dude, I went to wrestling school for 3 years and you let me do a bump thing. Like, I practiced all these moves and you took one look at me and then you went like this. And I said, yes, because they didn't fucking, none of these people would even entertain the idea of listening to me of what I know. They're just so, they don't get it. They don't know what I know. And this fucking guy that runs this school, I mean, no offense, he asked me who you know who Eric Bischoff is? Of course, you moron. You don't think I know this? I'm almost 50 years old. I just didn't want to like come back at him like that. But you don't know who you're talking to, dude. You wouldn't even, like, it's just, look, it's his school. So, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to challenge him like I did? If I know it, I've seen guys' fragile egos. You go ahead and challenge these, and it's not well received. They just go, get the fuck out of here. Don't come back kind of thing. I've seen this, too many times. So it's like kind of respect, I do respect talking, but, just don't let them shit on you, like, and I don't get that feeling from Keisha Black Pearl. Like, I understand that, but it's like it's like they don't, not giving you a chance to really, and I show it through, like, like when they give me a chance to do something, I show them that I'm for real, like, that I'm serious. I might not know how to take a good back bump yet or roll, stuff like that, and that's fine, because maybe I'm willing to admit I'm not meant to be a wrestler, like, that's those guys, they're just really acrobatic. But I don't think any of those guys got it cut out to make it at a higher level, because, like I said, based on what the criteria of those three things, they don't pass. They don't pass. None of them. There's one guy that's got some deep, good height on him. Not really thick. It could be something there. Like, I give him, but he gets. I will give him the passing score on physical presence. He's the only person, the only dude that I would give him the pass on that. So that's 33% right there. I never heard him talk or character. I never seen that yet. So that's unknown. And for some reason, I can't see him as anything. Like, I watch him and I see nothing. So I'm just gonna give him a 0 for that. And then the third one is okay, hold on. It was the character talking, what you look like. Oh, and can you wrestle? He's there is some things. I mean, that Gillette was trying to point out, like, from move his foot in. He's borderline proficient. He's borderline proficient. So I'm gonna, and I don't. I'm not saying he's done for sure yet. Like, but he's borderline proficient. So, like, if I take 33 and I give him a 17, that's 50%. He still is in a fail category. But given time, that guy, there could be something there. There could be, based on, like, the mold there of something. Now, he's not like the Big Show or something like that, but I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see, like, if there's anything he does that kind of sparks, lights it up. Some of these people, you never know. Like, they could be holding back, or they just need something to turn the light on that opens it up. You can't just, like, go look at somebody who's going to go like this, out, 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 out. Look, I heard this thing with Vince McMahon. He didn't like Jericho. He didn't like the idea for Jericho in the beginning because he's too short. But look at what he became. Like, Jesus. So if you just keep going like this, out, 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 now, then you could be passing on something that's truly special. Daniel Bryan's another one that I don't really care for him personally. It doesn't matter. You got everybody going, yes, yes, yes. You got a whole fucking the Louisiana Superdome is like whatever, 70,000 people, whatever. AT&T, I'm sorry, in Superdome 55,000, whatever. Yeah, that makes him money. You think he cares? I mean, of course he cares, but, like, the whole idea is to keep the machine running. And if you got everybody in the fucking crowd going, yes, 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 I don't give the fuck if the guy's 4'2". It doesn't matter. He's a draw. Okay, that's all that fucking matters. I think McMahon realizes that, because I know he's OG. Like, the characters were really big. Those guys, even Mr. Perfect, 250 pounds. These are not small people. I've seen them all. Like, I grew up with watching $1 Million Man. All these guys are big fucking guys. But he kind of gave chances to the Eddie Guerreros, Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Jericho, and they're draws. They're literally shorter, my height, whatever, draws, So there you go. It doesn't matter. If you're bringing people in and you're good, I mean, like, of course, big, and God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero, but steroids, like that's, he took it a little too far, like he got a little, he took too much stuff to blow up like that, and at his short height, you can't, that the heart can't handle it. Apparently, it was just too much. Um, I mean, I guess that he needed to be that big, like to go up against Lesnar, he beat him. He beat straight up at No Way Out. That was incredible. That Eddie Guerrero took down Lesnar and they gave him the belt. And he died. Same with Benoit. And I don't even want to talk about it because he's a, what he did is fucking inexcusable. And I don't like when in the wrestling class when they call it the crippler cross. I should have interjected that, and just said, don't give him any fucking credit for that. Just call it whatever, call it the crossface. Don't give him the crippler thing. The guy fucking killed his wife and his kid and himself. Just take him out of the equation as much as possible, and Brian. That's why they made Brian the big star at WrestleMania 30, because even though he's doing Benoit moves, the flying headbutt, and he's got his variation of the crippler crossface, the yes, whatever. The whole idea is to get past the Benoit thing, to distance themselves from that, and that's basically what it is. What's important. I see it from their mind's eye. I could be wrong a little bit, but I'm pretty much on the like you said, you gotta do what's best for business, and that's what that is. It's a variety show, and people are very skeptical of who they trust when they bring in. Maybe that business is not for me anyway. I just know one thing: just going to the gym, working out without a purpose. I mean, it's hard to be motivated without a reason. Anyway, covered a lot of stuff over the past hour, 15 minutes. I hope that everything from Hollywood pipe dreams to college experiences. So I hope that you're able to get something off of some of my opinions and views of all these things, so till next time, Warrior Junior just tells you to not drop things that you're sitting on. Go after those dreams, just don't get taken advantage of, and be practical and realistic. If when things aren't going, look, man, there's other ways to achieve other goals. There's like a million ways to make $1 million. I've heard that saying before. So don't get caught up in something that's you think that's the only way. I'll leave you with one thing. I heard about this janitor. He worked in this office building. I don't know if I think it was here or something. He was for 20 years, and they let him go. And he still had the key, he was cleaning like this office building or something. And they let him go, and he couldn't, it was like his whole life, that job. and he had the key, went up to like the top floor, he jumped off, killed himself. Instead of just, realizing that your job is expendable, and that, and just like you are expendable, like, you would think, I think it was one WWE manager, he was wrestling for, or managing for, or sorry, he was a referee for 30 years. They let him go. These things happen, like you make as much as you can while your time is there, whatever job or anything. That way, if something shocking happens after so long, you are prepared. You can handle it. You don't freak out like that janitor or something like that. I mean, that's like awful. Your life is more than a fucking job, man. Most people don't realize that. Most people, they're going partying, these stupid nightclubs like I used to do when I was younger. I'm the only one in that park working out. Because in my mind, I'm different than everybody else. I'm willing to invest in myself. And you know what? I know it's people that come to me instead of me going to them, trying to meet women or something like that. Now, I really haven't had women approach me in the park when I'm working out, but you get the point, like that. You got to invest in yourself and stop going along with the herd of the lamb and the sheep. Might be a lonely road, but it's the right road. It's the right road. Hope you getting takeaway from this. WJ signing out.